If you've been waiting for the first iPhone in a while, that feels like an easy yes. The iPhone 18 Pro might be exactly that kind of upgrade, and not because of one flashy feature, but because the latest iPhone 18 Pro leaks and iOS 27 rumors point to something more important. Apple may be improving the three things iPhone users actually feel every single day: design, battery life, and the camera, while also making the buying decision simpler than it's been in years. Here's why that matters. A lot of iPhone launches are incremental. The phone gets a bit faster, a bit more efficient, maybe one new camera trick, and Apple calls it a day. But most people don't upgrade when improvements are subtle. People upgrade when the changes are obvious the moment they pick the phone up, use it all day, and see the photos later. Right now, the iPhone 18 Pro is shaping up to deliver exactly that kind of noticeable upgrade cycle. First, let's talk about the features people ask for. Every year, the same requests rise to the top. Give us a fresh design that feels new. Give us better battery life that actually lasts. And give us real camera upgrades that improve photos and video in the real world, not just on a spec sheet. The iPhone 18 Pro is expected to build on those priorities again. And that's a big deal because it means Apple is leaning into what sells. Not what merely looks good in a keynote design is the most immediate upgrade you can feel. Even if your current iPhone still runs smoothly, a meaningful design update can instantly make your phone feel like last year's model, because you see and touch the difference every time you unlock it, hold it, or set it down next to someone else's new device. If the iPhone 18 Pro really does bring noticeable design changes, that alone will be enough to tempt a huge number of people who've been holding on to an iPhone 14 Pro, iPhone 15 Pro, or iPhone 16 Pro, and telling themselves, "Mine is still fine." Apple knows how powerful that moment is. When still fine suddenly becomes okay. I want that. Battery life, though, is where upgrades go from nice to I need this. Because battery doesn't just affect how long your phone lasts, it affects how you use it. People with older iPhones don't only worry about charging. They start changing their behavior. They lower brightness. They avoid using the camera too much. They close apps constantly. They carry a charger everywhere. They check battery percentage like it's a second job. So when rumors suggest the iPhone 18 Pro could deliver the best battery life Apple has ever put in an iPhone, that's not a small upgrade, it's one of the strongest reasons to buy. And if you're the kind of person who ends most days under 20%, or you travel, commute, shoot video, use navigation, or spend hours on calls, the value of better battery life is immediate. Now, the camera? The iPhone camera is still the #1 reason many people upgrade, even if they don't say it out loud, because camera improvements are the upgrades you can share. You see it in your photos. Your friends see it in the videos you post. And unlike performance gains that only show up in benchmarks, camera gains show up in everyday life: night shots that aren't noisy, portraits that look more natural, zoom that's actually usable, and video that looks steady and cinematic without extra effort. The iPhone 18 Pro is rumored to be a particularly exciting year for camera upgrades. And if Apple pushes forward on sensors, computational photography, and video features at the same time, this could be the kind of jump that makes older iPhones feel instantly dated, especially if you're coming from iPhone 12, iPhone 13, or even iPhone 14. But the biggest wildcard this year, and the one that could turn the iPhone 18 Pro into the most talked about upgrade, is iOS 27 and Apple's AI push. Apple has a massive user base with billions of active devices worldwide, and iPhone owners are used to getting new iOS versions every year. The problem is that not every device gets every feature, especially when those features require newer hardware. And according to the iOS 27 leaks, the new AI features, especially the Siri Overhaul, be exactly the kind of update that draws a hard line between older iPhones and newer ones. That's where Apple has a unique opportunity. People can ignore a slightly faster chip. People can ignore a minor design tweak. But people do not ignore missing out on the new Siri everyone is talking about, especially if it finally becomes the assistant Apple users have been waiting for. If iOS 27 delivers a smarter, more useful Siri that understands context better, handles more complex requests, and actually feels like it's keeping up with modern AI assistants, that will create real pressure to upgrade. Not because Apple forces you, but because you'll feel the gap. And if the best iOS 27 AI features don't run on many older iPhones, the iPhone 18 Pro becomes the easiest, cleanest path to the full experience. And here's the truth. Apple's AI story hasn't always felt urgent. People have heard promises before. They've heard Siri is getting smarter before. They've heard this iPhone is built for AI before. But if iOS 27 genuinely lands with a Siri overhaul that changes how people use their phones day to day, this could be the moment that finally makes Apple's AI narrative feel real, practical, and worth paying for. When AI stops being a demo and becomes something you use constantly, summarizing, organizing, responding, acting inside app stats when upgrade cycles shift. Now, add another factor that most people underestimate: buying friction. A lot of users don't upgrade because they're confused by the lineup. Too many models that are too similar can make even interested buyers hesitate. They compare, and then they do nothing. But rumors suggest Apple may simplify the fall lineup, potentially launching fewer iPhone models than in recent years. If that happens, it makes the iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max the obvious flagship choices for most shoppers, instead of forcing people into complicated comparisons. And then there's the rumored iPhone Ultra. If Apple positions an Ultra model as the super premium device, especially if it's aimed at early adopters, foldable enthusiasts, or people who always buy the most extreme option, then the iPhone 18 Pro starts to look like the smart flagship. Many buyers will look at the Ultra price and immediately decide it's too much, then feel good about choosing the iPhone 18 Pro because it's still premium, still powerful, and likely includes the features most people actually care about. That kind of lineup strategy is subtle, but incredibly effective. Another major piece of the puzzle is Apple's newer approach to financing and upgrading, including the Apple Upgrade leasing program that's being talked about more and more. Whether people love or hate the idea of leasing, it changes consumer behavior. When you reduce the upfront cost and turn a big purchase into a predictable monthly payment, you remove one of the biggest psychological barriers to upgrading. Instead of asking, "Do I want to spend over $1,000 right now?" people ask, "Is this worth around this much per month?" And for a lot of users, that question is easier to answer. If the iPhone 18 Pro ends up being positioned around an attractive monthly price with minimal upfront fees, that could dramatically boost adoption, especially for users who normally keep their phones for 4 or 5 years. Monthly programs can make upgrades feel routine, even when the device is expensive. That's exactly what reduced buying friction looks like in the real world. Fewer reasons to hesitate. So who is the iPhone 18 Pro really for? If you're on an iPhone 12, iPhone 13, or anything older, the iPhone 18 Pro could feel like a massive leap in nearly every way: display efficiency, battery endurance, camera performance, and likely AI features tied to iOS 27. If you're on an iPhone 14 Pro or iPhone 15 Pro and your battery health has dropped, you're also in the sweet spot where a new phone doesn't just feel faster, it feels easier to live with. And if you care about photography, video, or content creation, a meaningful camera year is always a strong reason to upgrade because you'll see the benefits immediately at the same time. Not everyone should rush. If you already have a newer Pro model and your battery is still strong, the decision will come down to how big the design change is, how substantial the camera improvements are, and whether iOS 27's best AI features are locked behind newer hardware. Because if iOS 27 runs the features you want on your current phone, you might not need to upgrade. But if Apple makes iPhone 18 Pro the gateway to the full iOS 27 series and AI experience, that equation changes quickly. The biggest things to watch before you buy are simple: what the real iPhone 18 Pro design looks like in hands-on videos, what the actual iOS 27 AI feature list is, and which iPhones support it, and real battery and camera tests once reviewers put it through daily use. Apple can promise best ever, but only real-world results tell you whether it's a must-upgrade year. If the leaks are even close to accurate, the iPhone 18 Pro could hit the perfect combination: the upgrades people ask for most, the AI software story Apple has been building toward, and a purchasing path that makes upgrading feel less painful. And that's how you get a phone that becomes a no-brainer for a lot of users, because it doesn't rely on one gimmick. It improves the things you touch, use, and rely on all day. So the real question is this: are you upgrading to iPhone 18 Pro for the design, the battery life, the camera upgrades, or iOS 27 and the new Siri AI features? And if you're not upgrading, what would Apple have to add to make the iPhone 18 Pro impossible to ignore?